What's going on, gamers? Man, do we got a lot of mixed stuff going on here, but at least it's officially coming from Valve. This is annoying. AMD was specifically saying that the Steam machine may launch soon. I've always thought that it might get delayed. Now we got official intel here from Valve saying that because of the SSD price hike and the RAM price hike, you see it right here, launch timing and other facts, revisiting scheduling and pricing due to supply issues. Go is still the first half of the year. So because of that, it doesn't look like it may be early 2026, but they may be launching later 2026, like closer to summer or late spring. And this actually makes a lot of sense. So this answers our question about what we were thinking before when it comes to, I don't know if I was going to do light here or dark here, because I mean, I don't have any light on here. I think it's easier for you guys to read like this. So this answers our question here, guys, is as if the Steam machine was going to be ready and Valve actually prepared components ahead of time to have enough to say, oh, we can still launch it because we got at least 2 million components ready. And we're not looking at this thing to even sell 10 million. We jump through the roofs if that sold 10 million, right? Well, it seems like that's not the case. It looks like Valve didn't see this coming. And they're going to have to readjust so much to where I don't even think they decided the price yet. And that's what I was reading on. So we're going to talk about that. They also gave an update on the Steam controller and on the Steam frame and how they're going to have the streaming service working on there differently from streaming services elsewhere. So we have it all right here in this article. You wanted to go to their official steamcommunity.com site, you can go there, but it's all right here to be read. So starting off right here, it says, we started the Steam hardware blog as a way to specifically address topics surrounding Steam's hardware. Because, you know, a lot of people have been asking for Valve to update. They haven't heard anything since they announced it. There's just been everybody else doing that. And wanted to start by tackling some of the most frequently asked questions we received since announcing these 3 new products on November 12th. Before we dive into some of the hardware-specific questions we've seen, we want to get straight to the 2 we know everyone is wondering about the most. When will these be launching, and how much will they cost? Guys, I'm going to tell you right now. Remember how we were saying, all right, 700 price point? If Valve is readjusting again, then it may be more than that for that 512. Because remember when Linux was on the phone with them, Linux Tech, he was like, $600, you know what I mean? And everybody was quiet. So that automatically gave you the cue that, nah, they're going to be doing at least $700, right? And then now they're thinking about talking about this again, and they're saying they're not going to subsidize. The Steam machine base model for 512 could be $800, and that other one, 2 terabyte, could be $1,000. That's insane when you're thinking about the difference of technology between that and the Pro. Though I know you're not looking at it to be launched like a console, but it's being launched like a console-like experience in the console industry. To appear like that, the GameCube, yeah, and you see the difference between that and the PS5 Pro price, and they're about to get PSSR 2, and it's like, oh man, that's rough, man. And this is not necessarily Valve's fault. This is because of this crazy NVIDIA AI chase, along with the RAM crisis and the SSD crisis and overfeeding the AI. It's hurting gaming. Yeah, something that's not gaming is doing that. This sucks. So going down, it says, when we announced these products in November, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now. They were thinking about that before that stuff hit. That's why I said I figured that was not subsidizing around that current market trend. But that's not the case. But the keyword, guys, right here. But the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. So guys, if the Steam machine is going to be $800 to $1,000, how much do you think the Xbox Magnus is going to be? Double that. The limited availability and growing prices of these critical components mean we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and prices. That's a delay, guys. That's a pushback. And we haven't decided yet. Oh man, we're going to have to adjust to this. So we can't just do this right now. We were probably thinking March. A lot of people were thinking originally. Well, that's not happening, especially around Steam Machine and Steam Frame. Our goal of shipping all 3 products, which is a Steam controller, in the first half of the year has not changed. So they're going to just put it towards the later half of the year and not the earlier first half in that 6-month period. But we have work to do to land on concrete pricing. They haven't even still decided the price. They have to adjust. And launch dates that we can confidently announce. Key word here, when you guys think about it. They said earlier in this article, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now. They would have had one. So that means it was going to be earlier than what they initially have now, and they have to push that back. You could deduct that. You see that. You see? So that's why I said right here, we have to do work here to land on pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce, being mindful of how quickly the circumstances around both of these things can change. We will keep you updated as much as we can as we finalize those plans as soon as possible. So right there, that automatically tells you nothing is finalized yet, and they're still adjusting, and things can get even more crazier. They can. In the meantime, we plan to use this blog to deliver additional content, from deep dives into Pacific futures, video and blog form, to updates and what's new write-ups. In the first go round, we thought it would be helpful to answer some of the most asked about topics surrounding the new hardware. Steam Frame and VR. Will Steam Frame support other streaming services? SteamOS has a built-in browser, and we expect streaming services to work in a theatrical browser mode. So there goes you guys' question right there. How can I request a Steam Frame developer kit? Steamwork developers can submit a request for Steam Frame dev kits at the partner site here, right there, partner.steamgames.com. Supplies are limited, but we are sending out kits on an ongoing basis. Will Steam Frame work with Lighthouse-based stations? It's not something we're working on, but we built Steam Frame to be modular and extensible so that the community and third parties can build out the features and accessories that are important to them. That's pretty cool. Can Steam Frame be used while wearing glasses? Maybe VR or something? A bunch of people on the team wear glasses and use Steam Frame without the issue, but it really depends on the width of the glasses frames. Oh, okay, I see what they're saying. All right, they really mean glasses. Okay. And while we don't have details to share yet, we're looking into making prescription lenses inserts available ahead of launch. Interesting. So you guys got to get the idea of the way the Steam Frame is working here. And he says, I heard that the Steam Frame has foveated streaming. Is that the same thing as foveated rendering? What games support it? With Steam Frame, we're introducing a new feature called foveated streaming, if that's how you say it. While both use eye tracking data, the technology is different. You got foveated rendering and streaming. The rendering is eye tracking data, so the game only renders high resolution data in the portion of the viewpoint the player is looking at. And streaming, on the other hand, uses eye tracking data so that the PC only streams high resolution data and the portion of the viewport the player is looking at. That's a good way to optimize and keep things intelligent. I like that. So foveated streaming is a system level feature. It applies to everything and requires no game developers to work. If a game implements foveated rendering, the benefits of the feature will stack with foveated streaming. Will Valve Index have ongoing product support? While we no longer are making Valve Index, we do intend to support Index owners. So that's pretty cool. Now let's get down to the Steam Machine. How well can a Steam Machine play newer, more demanding games on Steam? In our testing, the majority of Steam titles play great at 4K 60. So that's at Steam titles. With FSR on Steam Machine. That said, there are some titles that are currently require more upscaling than others. So if you want to talk about newer games, and it may be preferable to play at a lower frame rate with VRR to maintain a 1080p internal resolution, as people thought. In the meantime, we're working on HDMI VRR, investigating improved upscaling, and optimizing ray tracing performance in the driver. So we are approaching this from multiple angles. So they want to kind of get it optimized as much as possible with the Proton aspect and Linux going. That's cool. Will third parties be able to make faceplates for Steam Machine? Will you be making the CAD for those faceplates available? And they say, yeah, we're going to plan on doing that for specs and details in the coming months. Will components of the Steam Machine be upgradable? Here's an interesting question. You can upgrade the SSD and memory, guys, and it's DDR5 SOD and NVM 2230 or 2280. And they're both accessible and upgradable. I think that's cool that you can actually do something with the memory. SSD, that kind of makes sense. I think anybody in it, you can see that with console, so that's no problem. But memory, you can't do that. The fact that you could do that is actually pretty cool, so that's a plus. And then when it comes to the Steam controller, can I play non-Steam games with a Steam controller? And they say the Steam controller can work with any game compatible with the Steam overlay. So more to come. Keep following the Steam hardware blog to stay up to date on the latest news and information as we head towards launch and beyond. We'll answer more questions as we go, and also plan to release additional content that lets us deep dive into specific features and other topics related to the hardware. So guys, overall, I mean, it's pretty much what you thought. The only cool thing out of this is I see that you can upgrade the memory, but the bad news is that the price is going to go up. This is the big thing factor here, and that it's going to be delayed out. And they're not mentioning anything about Half-Life 3 if it's a surprise. This guy says, oh boy, this is some rough news. Yeah, I mean, the price is going up. Yes, we're effed. They got to be so pissed. Their timing couldn't have been worse. What's the thing? Valve is getting screwed. They are. I mean, by this PC crashing economy. Even though it's coming like a console-like experience, they're selling it like a PC. They made it quite clear. Everything in PC is getting affected. That's why I think the Magnus is getting screwed even more as well. I mean, Microsoft's already screwing the Xbox brand, but hey, I mean, yeah, let's find a way to screw it more. Very nice if you have spare laptop memory, which I think is cool. Yeah, just a terrible year to try and launch hardware. Tell me about it. Nobody should be launching hardware this year. The price is going to be absolutely outrageous. I'm telling you right now, minimum $800 for the 512. You think about 512, what do you want to get a 2 terabyte? You see what I mean? Either way, it's like, oh man, you'll be paying out the ass for that. So you're going to be paying for the original 2 terabyte price anyways, unless you have that NVMe 2 terabyte sitting around and you can just put that in there and swap it out. And you got that deal ahead of time. Otherwise, man, you might as well go for the 2 terabyte or be like, why would I want to pay this much for those specs when I get a PS5 Pro? And then for $300 more, because tax $1,000 plus $1,100, I can go get myself almost damn a Switch 2 with that. Hey, I'm just saying. But you guys decide. Obviously, if you're Steam heads, I can understand that. I'm not trying to beat that down, but I'm not interested because it's going way out of the price range. And I'm not blaming Valve for this because they're just not subsidizing and they're getting screwed in along with this curse of 2026 for hardware, along with everybody else. I mean, it all sucks. So I don't like any of this. So yeah, I mean, I think everything's going to go up. I think even if you want to get a Steam controller X or whatever, that's going to be more expensive. Everything will be more expensive. The Steam frame, that's going to go up as well too. Everything is just being affected hardware-wise, and this sucks because of the AI inflated nonsense. I just don't like it. Like, so this guy comes down and says FAI. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Sucks to hear, but many expected it. Yeah, I mean, this is what we pretty much kind of like talked about before. We knew this was kind of happening. Kind of crazy. AMD forced their hand to comment, but things were getting crazy amongst potential buyers. Really sucks how consumer tech went stupid just as Steam hardware was announced. Stock is going to be hella limited, I fear. So yeah, Valve didn't prepare like we thought they did, guys, because they probably wouldn't have seen this coming. So yeah, this kind of sucks, and it screws something that they planned for a while. Right at their launch, man. Nothing we can do about this, guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Man, it sucks to see gaming get affected and its organic algorithm is being toyed with. I mean, the only comfortable solution for any other future product is a delay. Look at what happened with the GPU supers. That's because NVIDIA wanted to do that. Look at what happened with AMD. Everything hardware is getting screwed because of this AI nonsense. I hate it. Later, y'all. Keep gaming.